Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Mining has been suspended at Peru's largest silver mine. Let's explore! I saw this originally over at Wall Street Silver Forum. Very interesting indeed. It is Buenaventura mine in Peru. They also mine gold and base metals, but you know that's Peru being the world's second largest producer of silver. This means it could have implications on silver depending on how long this mining suspension lasts. Well, what is causing the suspension of mining in Buenaventura? It is a strike. That's right. And the Compañía de Minas Buenaventura, which is Peru's largest publicly traded precious metals mining company, announced that the local communities surrounding the company's Uchachachia mine initiated a strike at midnight on September the 13th, 2021. Mine operations have therefore since been suspended as access has been blocked. However, essential work associated with mine maintenance and functionality, including water drainage, water treatment, and tailings dams inspections, continue without interruption. But there is no mining going on. No more silver being taken out of the ground or gold. But again, as I mentioned before, silver is the primary metal mined in Peru more than any other metal. The strike results from the community's claim that Buenaventura has violated agreements signed in 2012 and 2018. However, Buenaventura has complied with all related commitments and obligations. This has also been communicated to the community as the company has made itself available twice a month for meetings with community representatives. Makes you wonder if perhaps this press release was actually, well, it was issued by the mining company. Meetings are also scheduled for special circumstances, while unfortunately was not possible in the current situation despite Buenaventura's frequent attempts. And so this talks about what they're going to do to try to resolve this strike and get the workers back in, but there's other situations that could possibly be contributing to this. But let's look a little bit about what the description of the mine is. Publicly traded precious and base metals company and a major holder of mining rights in Peru. The company is engaged in the exploration, mining, development, processing, and trade of gold, silver, and other base metals via wholly owned mine and through its participation in joint venture projects. Buenaventura currently operates several mines in Peru, and the company owns 43.65% of Minera Yanacocha, which is a partnership with Newmont Mining. You know, Newmont's got its hands in everything for the mining sector. An important precious metals producer and 19.58% of Sociedad Mineral de Carrera Verde, an important Peruvian copper producer. So very interested to see how it plays out, how this will play out regardless. But nonetheless, this is their website. You can talk about their operations and projects there. You can see all throughout Peru where they are working. Now, silver they do gold, silver, copper, zinc, and lead, as you can see there. And they got their hands in several different metals here. And there was a profile that was just days before the strike occurred about Buenaventura. Essentially, it's one of those things where it's an opportunity. This talks about the opportunity for investment. And this is a well-established mine. And just goes to show you that things can change on a dime. You know, a profitable company like this, where you can see their numbers and how they have done so well in production, but and their balance sheet and everything is happening. It was up again for 2021, and things can move in another direction. Obviously, with this strike happening, people are wondering, if there's more involved in it or not. I'm not sure. There's your silver output and gold output. Makes you wonder, looking at this, how much was done in the last part of the last decade as compared to now. Obviously, the pandemic played a huge role in that, and still trying to recover from that. I think these charts showing gold and silver production here are indicators of kind of where the whole supply chain is for the entire economy. It's not easy to recover from essentially being shut down for quite a long time. And now we have another factor that has come into play for this mine, and that is the shutdown due to a strike. And of course, you wonder if some of this may be political. I don't know. The new president, Pedro Castillo, who's been elected and not been in office very long, in fact, just a little over a month, and this is a major shift in Peruvian politics. First time in the country's history that a member of the Marxist-Leninist Party has been democratically elected. It's no small feat, considering that much of the left's role in recent Peruvian history has been marked by violence and trauma resulting from the activity of a Maoist terrorist organization, the Shining Path, in the 80s and 90s. And so they're kind of moving back towards that kind of political movement. And we know how that turned out for Venezuela. And it's not to say that Peru will necessarily follow that same path just because they've elected a radical leftist. But nonetheless, much likelihood of a chance of that occurring. And who knows, this could be a vie for a potential control, or maybe control of the mine itself. I don't know, by the state. But nonetheless, certainly is concerning, and a lot to keep in consideration, and especially when you look at silver prices and gold prices. This is going to be stop production for a while. How long, we don't know. But it is something that could have an effect on the overall price of gold and silver, though likely not a lot. But if things like this continue the way that it is going with other factors that come into play, it seems like a delicate situation, a delicate balance, especially when we're talking about increased demand for silver, especially with use in other products and industry and technology. That coupled with the increase in demand for bullion, and that is something that could rise again. If people are smart, they'll buy when the prices are low. That could certainly raise the prices in the spot markets, in the paper markets. And what is that price? As of the recording of this video, it is still down. In fact, it's going down even more, and at just over $22.50, $22 and almost 70 cents now for the ask price. Now that's a bargain. But what about premiums? Premiums are something that we have to take into consideration as well when you're buying, and those could lead to the decoupling here. But so far, this news has not affected the price in the upwards direction for silver. There's a lot of different factors and reasons for that. But nonetheless, the price will be reflected in terms of demand for silver product. In other words, bullion. In other words, the raw materials utilized in electronics and in technology, in the biomedical field. That stuff will continue to increase, and if there's less silver coming out of the ground because of a strike, that means it's going to put a lot of pressure. But by the way, pressure on the price and on demand does not necessarily reflect in the movement in price, at least not for a while. People are frustrated because of how the markets seem to be reacting when other commodities are going up, but silver does not seem to be reflecting that recently. You have to kind of look at, in a sense, sort of the long-term proposition, where silver was literally trading under $20 an ounce before the pandemic. In fact, in the beginning of the pandemic, it actually crashed to below $12 an ounce. I think those are the baselines you have to consider. We're still above those prices, and that's another way to look at it in terms of the aspect of the price movement in the markets for silver. As far as the physical silver, well, again, you're hard pressed to find silver for under $30 an ounce. Most places, it seems like these days, for bullion coins. But nonetheless, it is something that has to be calculated based off of what you could sell it for as well. What is your local coin shop buying your silver at? I think that is really the true test of the market, is what you could sell your silver for, which, by the way, I don't recommend selling your silver now, even if you get it above spot, because a fair market would mean that you would be getting it above spot right now, because there is still a slight decoupling of the spot price to the market price of silver. And it's the market price that really matters the most. It's not saying the spot price doesn't matter, but with news like this, I think that's going to have an effect if this strike continues. And we'll find out. But very interesting news indeed. And again, some of this stuff over at the Wall Street Silver Forum, and they're posting some neat stuff over there. And it's a growing community. And it is one of those things where, we're being tested, I think, right now, especially with spot price in the silver market. And I would encourage those who are concerned about spot price to hold on, just to hang in there. I think sooner or later things are going to rebound. And when I say that, I'm not saying it's going to go to the moon. Silver is not one of those metals that I think we should actually, I don't believe it is in our best interest to wish for a moonshot for silver. Because if it happens and it spikes up dramatically, especially quickly, more than likely there's trouble on the horizon above and beyond what we would ever want to see occur. And so therefore, I think we should see a rebound, a recovery, normalization of the markets. But in times when the price is low and there is volatility in the market in general, and the prices are low for silver, to me that should be seen as an opportunity. I think most silver stackers do see that as an opportunity, but at the same time, we must be realistic about the price action for silver, and how stories like this, which we think should have a fairly considerable effect, considering it's the largest mining company in Peru, and silver being the second largest export out of that company compared to other countries around the world. It seems like it should have a bigger effect, but maybe not. It's just one of those things. Let me know what your thoughts are. Very interesting indeed. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.